Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Charles Sylvia with Cruise Lines International Association coming to you from my home in Rhode Island. And I'd like to thank you all for being on today's CLIA call. I'm just going to give everyone, it's 4 o'clock in the East, and I'm just about to give everyone a few minutes to log on. We've got a few people already signed up and already signed in rather, and we're going to just give about 30 seconds for other people to arrive. And again, today's webinar is how to maximize success when U.S. cruising restarts. So we'll be with you in just about 30 seconds. All right, I'm ready to kick off. And I'd like to take a moment to thank Verna and the entire leadership team of PTANA for this wonderful opportunity. I believe Verna is on the call. Let me see. Verna, are you able to unmute and say hello to everyone? I think she's going to. There she is.
Okay, I just unmuted. I don't really know how to. I know Kathy Marshall will be on there from the board, and also Lila. And you know, I'm trying to get a hold of Lila now to see if she has anything that she would like to say. You know.
Very good, very good. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. So maybe you can enable that Kathy Marshall or Lila or one of them might also want to get on. Okay.
Sure. I'm going to check the agenda.
Okay, thank you so much today for the presentation.
My pleasure, Verna. And so let me see if Kathy Marshall or Lila are on the call, and we will enable them to, oh, there's Kathy. Hi, Kathy. All right, so Kathy, you should be, I'm going to make you a panelist now so that you can talk to before we begin our presentation. Let's see. Kathy, your microphone is live. If you'd like to say hello to everyone, and I'm just about to unmute Lila as well.
Hello, everyone. This is Kathy.
Oh, Kathy, I think that we went mute on you again. So let me try to get you back. There you go. You're live, Kathy. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kathy Marshall from PTANA. In case we have someone who is not a member at this time, our website is PTANA.org, and we're glad that you were able to join us with our partner, our CLIA partner. And I hope I will see you at Cruise 360. You'll hear more about it. You've been getting emails. I'll send another email out, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of our members with me in Florida, in sunny Florida.
That's so exciting, Kathy. You know, it's only just about 64 days away until Cruise 360 debuts in Hollywood, Florida.
Well, I am ready. John and I are booked and ready to roll.
Fantastic, Kathy. Now let me see if I can unmute Lila Nicholas so we can have Lila say a few words. Let's see, Lila.
I think I see a message saying that I'm unmuted. Is that right?
That is correct. We can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Lila.
How are you, Charlie? Thank you so much for doing this for us. It's so timely and very much needed. You know, we are all coming out of the haze of what's been going on for the last year and a half, and it's just good to reconnect with a major partner like you. We stood together through thick and thin, obviously, and here we are on the other side of this challenge moving forward, and it feels good. We're encouraged because looks like the cruise lines are getting ready to roll again. I am so thankful. And whatever we did as an organization, Charlie, it wasn't enough. And if there's anything else you need us to do, you just say it, because we value this relationship. We certainly do. And thank you for everything that you do to support PTANA.
Lila, thank you very much for your kind words and for the support across the board with the leadership from PTANA. I understand that Alonzo is also, the education chair is also on the line. Let me
I'm sure he
unmute.
is.
Alonzo, I'm going to unmute you. And if you'd like to just say a few words.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, I'd also like to welcome all the participants on this call. This is very important now, especially with this transition back into cruising again. I encourage everybody to take advantage of all this great information, and I appreciate that support, and I definitely appreciate the support CLIA has provided for PTANA and our education efforts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alonzo. And yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? It's all about education. And, you know, when you learn, you grow. And that's really what it's all about. And that's what CLIA is. You know, we are here to educate you, but also to help you grow your businesses and to maintain your relevance and not only make a living in this business, but to prosper and to do extremely well. So I'm just going to make sure everyone's muted, and then I'm going to go forth with my presentation. Again, I'd like to thank the entire leadership team of PTANA for this wonderful opportunity to be with you. Today's call is about how to maximize success, maximize sales success. There's a word missing there. How to maximize sales success when U.S. cruising restarts, which we're starting to see. Yesterday, President Biden signed the legislation that went through to allow for the PVSA waiver that will allow cruise ships to sail from U.S. ports to Alaska and then back again without having to call on a foreign port. So that was very exciting indeed. And that's the first signal that cruising will begin from the U.S. this summer, which is tremendously important. I'd like for all of you to have my contact information. My name is Charles Sylvia, and I'm Vice President of Industry and Trade Relations with CLIA. I am a travel advisor. I began my career in 1994 in my hometown in Massachusetts, not too far from Cape Cod. And I've been a travel advisor for 27 years, proud to represent this industry, proud to represent cruise travel. I want you to have my email if ever you have any questions or high-level thoughts about CLIA membership, how we can make it even better for you. And if you could take out your mobile device, and if you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, please give me a follow at CLIA Veep. That's at CLIA Veep. And I do that not to be selfish, not because I'm egotistical, but I do it because I share a lot of really valuable information every week on Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on Facebook. For example, I put out a pro tip of the week, which people have found to be very valuable. So again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, you can find me at CLIA Veep. And of course, if you need something like your Embark ID status or something about a course, if you have questions about your membership, please contact one of our membership specialists in Washington, D.C. at 202-759-9370 and press 5 to be connected with the CLIA membership specialist team. So we've got a lot to cover, and I'm going to get through it pretty quickly. We're going to cover the CLIA cruise community so that you understand what CLIA is. Those of you who are on the call, who are members of CLIA, thank you so much for being part of CLIA. For those of you who have yet to join CLIA, we're going to ask you to join CLIA and share with you why it's important that you do so and how you benefit from it. Then we're going to give you a behind the scenes kind of tour of CLIA and what we are focused on. What are our priorities? Obviously, we're coming out of the pandemic, and we can get back to focusing on the things that we focused on before the pandemic at CLIA. So we're going to give you a behind the scenes tour of our priorities. We're going to share how travel advisors can leverage CLIA membership to succeed. And I'm going to share with you an actual case study, a real life story from a young man who became a travel advisor and did very well. As a matter of fact, he sold more than $2 million worth of travel every single year throughout his career. And so we're going to show you how that young man leveraged his CLIA membership to succeed. And then what you can do today, right now, as soon as you get off this call, or even during the call, what you can do to further your cruise sales and to grow, and not only grow your business, but grow your commissions, grow your income, and grow your quality of life. And then we're going to go into questions and answers. So without further ado, the CLIA cruise community. Now, when we talk about the cruise industry, you know, CLIA is the cruise industry, because if you look at our membership, we have 56 cruise lines. Now that's 56 cruise lines around the world, both ocean-going cruise lines and river cruise operators, all of the brands that you know, that you love, that you sell, and that you sail yourself. And so these 56 cruise lines represent 95%. Now that's an important statistic. 95% of all the cruise capacity worldwide, the global cruise capacity, 95% of it is represented by those 56 CLIA cruise line members. Then we have executive partners, 400 of them. Holy smokes. Executive partners are the companies that round out the cruise experience. So airlines, hotels, ground transportation, shore excursion companies, heck, even companies that make produce fuel for cruise ships, and paint companies that paint the hull and make them more hydrodynamic, to television manufacturers for the cabins. Everything that rounds out the entire what we call supply chain are part of our executive partners. Sometimes we'll have a travel advisor try to join CLIA thinking that they can be an executive partner, but that's what they are. They are the other companies that round out the cruise experience. And then we have all of you, right? 15,000 travel agencies. Now, within those 15,000 travel agencies around the world, about 8,500 to 9,000 of them are located in North America, in the United States and Canada. And it's important for you to understand. So in other words, 8,500, that's a good number to write down. 8,500 travel agencies in the United States and Canada. And every single year, we pull out of those 8,500 travel agencies 30 companies that we work with as premier members. Premier members. Important for you to know that terminology, premier members. Those 30 out of the 8,500 are the most prestigious, most influential organizations related to the marketing and selling of cruise travel in North America. I'm gonna have you to hold that thought for just a moment. And then there's all of you, right? 54,000 travel agents. We call them agents here because CLIA is a global organization. We're not just in the United States. We are in 17 regions around the world. So 54,000 travel agents here in the US. We call ourselves, we self-identify as travel advisors. 54,000. Within the United States and Canada, there are about 36,000 out of those 54,000 worldwide. So when you take all of these four partners, right, these four groups rather, you comprise the CLIA cruise community, which is really the cruise industry. And when you think about it, when you hear the term cruise industry from now on, ladies and gentlemen, please include yourself, because I like to say that the cruise lines order the ships, but travel advisors pay for them, right? 78% of all cruises worldwide every single year are booked through a travel advisor. So always tell every single client, every prospect, you know what a prospect is, right? That's someone who hasn't given you money. If they haven't given you money yet, they're a prospect. Once they do, then they become a client. So every single person with whom you come in contact who's interested in buying a cruise from you, make sure that they know that 78% of all cruises are sold by travel advisors. So I talked about premier members, right? How out of the 15,000 travel agencies around the world, 8,500 were in the United States and Canada. And within those 8,500, we choose 30 members by invitation only every year to be a CLIA Premier member. Again, the most influential and prominent organizations responsible for the marketing and selling of cruise travel in North America. Well, I am proud to tell anyone on this call who is not aware the fact that PTANA, Professional Travel Agents of North America, is a CLIA Premier member and has been for, I believe, 5 years now. We've had this wonderful association allegiance. We are allied associations, and your designation as a Premier member is a great little story to share with your clients. The fact that you are part of something so great and so influential and impactful and prominent. It is a great way to build credibility with your clients, because that's really what it's all about. So now behind the scenes, let's take a look at the priorities of CLIA, because a lot of people think that we just, we're just responsible for helping travel advisors succeed and sell more cruises. And yes, that's part of the equation, but let me go through them really quickly. Again, we are here to foster your success and to further your common interests. So we represent, whether you're a cruise line, an executive partner, a travel agency, or an advisor, we are here to represent your common interests. And you know where I was about 19 minutes ago before I logged on? I logged on to this call at 3:55 p.m. And at 3:54 p.m., I was on a call with the United States Senate. And so, we were talking to the Senate subcommittee on tourism, trade, and export promotion. And they convened a hearing called Investing in America's Tourism and Hospitality Workforce and Small Businesses. So I was on that call with one of our leaders who was representing all of you. He was talking about travel agency owners and travel advisors and how important they are to the economy and how important they are to the cruise industry. So I was on that call with Senator Rick Scott and Senator Amy Klobuchar, among other senators, and I had to hop off that call to be with all of you. That's how important you are to CLIA. So I just wanted you to know that we're not just about travel advisor success. We are also about advocacy and influence, so government affairs. So for example, representing your interests in the US Senate. We actually have dealings on a weekly basis with the Biden administration and with every presidential administration to represent your needs to the White House. So government affairs is a big part of it, advocating for you and providing influence where we can to help make sure that your interests are looked out for. Then there's maritime policy, right? And that's all about innovation and leadership. Maritime policy, believe it or not, people don't realize that CLIA works with shipbuilders and cruise lines to make certain that ships are safe, that cruising is safe, secure, healthy, and operated in an environmentally responsible way, that we are stewards of the environment. We work on incredible projects, like, for example, the project to create outlets, literally, so that you can pull up your cruise ship to various ports and plug in power. Just so those of you who may own an RV, you get to the campground, you plug in the RV, right? So you don't have to run your generator. Same principle applies here. So that's one of countless projects, and you can only imagine since March of last year how busy the maritime policy team has been working on public health and safety measures, along with the Blue Ribbon panel and the Healthy Sail panel and Carnival Cruise Lines panel of experts, and all of our various 54 cruise lines, to make sure that we take something that's even safe, that was safe to begin with, and make it even more safe. So that's really what maritime policy is all about, is operating the ships in a safe way. And then there's membership engagement and revenue growth, and that's where you come in. We are here to engage with you and help you grow your revenue. We work with our members. Again, we're talking about the travel agencies and the advisors, as well as the executive partners across the cruise community, to help you develop ways of growing your business and creating more awareness in your market about cruise travel and the realities, and dispelling myths and misconceptions, and educating you on how to be an expert and how to represent cruise travel in your community and to become synonymous with cruise, so that when people see you in the supermarket, they point at you and say, hey, that's the cruise lady, isn't it? And get you that free publicity and the talks on the radio stations and the articles in the local newspapers and so forth. So that's really what membership engagement and revenue growth is. We're here to help you succeed. We are an extension of your marketing and sales department. And then reputation and trust. Our marketing and strategic communications teams work very, very hard to make sure that we're gathering all the correct data, that we're reporting out everything that happens on cruise ships, or should I say doesn't happen on cruise ships, right? Everything that goes on, all of the myth busting and misconception busting information that we use to manage the reputation of cruising, because we all have that uncle, don't we? We all have that uncle that we see at the barbecue, and he's never set foot on a cruise ship, never once set foot on a cruise ship, and yet he calls them floating petri dishes. And if somebody in the comments section or the questions section, the chat, could give me an amen to that, I'd love to see it, because I'll tell you what, we see that all the time. We see people who are speaking about cruise like they know what they're talking about, and the reality is that they don't. And so it's our jobs to dispel those myths and misconceptions, and to be able to speak in an informed way about the realities of cruising, so that we can create awareness, that we can dispel myths and misconceptions, and we can create even more future cruises as they come down the road. But I will share with you, ladies and gentlemen, that guess what? Demand is at an all-time high, and we are we're not. A lot of people will ask me about whether or not we need a gut milk campaign, right? Like the Dairy Council did back in the 90s. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we don't need one, because cruising is so popular. It's growing year over year over year. There's no shortage of demand. As a matter of fact, we can't build the ships fast enough. We've got more than $60 billion worth of ships on order, actually $68 billion worth of ships on order in the next, sorry, $60.8 billion worth of cruise ships on order for the next 7 years that are going to be launched. So there's no shortage of demand. And then there's insights and credibility. And I spoke a little bit about that already, about the research and the business analytics, and showing demand and showing how safe and responsible cruise travel is. So I was teasing you a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, about the young man who did so well in his career selling cruises. Well, that young man was you're talking to him right now. Yes, this, and Lila is she's probably got her jaw down to her chin. I mean, her jaw down to her clavicle there, because she knows me well. She knows me like family. Lila is family to me. And this was me back in September of 1994, a lot of pounds ago. And you know what? That's when I started my career. I started my career as a travel advisor in 1994. And I got hired in a little brick and mortar agency in my hometown of Fairhaven, Massachusetts, not too far from Cape Cod. And the very first day, now I got hired, mind you, just so you know, I got hired to sell cruises. I was working in another industry. I was, believe it or not, in travel and tourism. I was a tour guide at the Newport Mansions and at a presidential library outside of Boston on the weekends. And so I was in tourism and I loved it, but I had been cruising since 1978 when I was a little kid. And I had already done like 10 cruises. So by September 1994, I got home that night and I looked in the paper, and the ad didn't say travel advisor. It didn't say travel agent wanted. It said cruise consultant, cruise travel consultant wanted. And so I rode my bike, believe it or not, the 2 miles from my home to the travel agency the next day, and I applied. And I told him how much I loved cruising. I told him how much I loved talking with people and making how much I would love to make their dreams come true. And he hired me. Steve and Annie, they hired me, and they were a married couple who owned my agency. So a couple of weeks later was my first day on the job. And Steve came up to me and he said to me, Charlie, he had this big box in his hand. He said, Charlie, boom. He put this box on my desk and he said, you're going to be the CLIA guy. And I said, Steve, what are you talking about? And he said, well, let me explain. So this is my agency, and I'm going to train you how to meet and greet clients, how to deal with them, how to work with them, how to work the system. We were on a GDS called System 1 back in the day. How to look up availability and pricing, how to book them, how to log your sales so that you get paid your commissions. We're going to teach you all that. Then the cruise lines, they're going to come in. Of course, back then we call them DSMs, district sales managers, but nowadays we call them BDMs. Cruise lines, they're going to come in. They're going to bring donuts or coffee or pizza, whatever. They're going to come in and have these lunch and learns, and they're going to teach you everything about what their individual cruise lines are all about, what their value proposition is, who sails on them, and who you should sell them to, and all that stuff. What makes them different from one another? But then there's CLIA. And CLIA Boom, he put this box on my desk. And the box was filled with balloons and flyers and Hawaiian leis and posters and stickers and all this great stuff, talking about how wonderful cruising is. And at the very bottom of the box was a 2 or 3 inch thick book filled with statistics, filled with marketing and sales tools, filled with tips, filled with all sorts of incredible information. And of course, nowadays we know that box to be the CLIA website, don't we? Because back then we didn't have the internet. That box, ladies and gentlemen, was cruising.org back in 1994. That box would get shipped to travel agencies. And for those of you who have been in the business for as long as I have, or even longer perhaps, you remember that box, don't you? You remember getting that box in the mail every year. Well, that box became mine. He said, you're going to become the CLIA guy. You're going to pursue the CLIA certification. You're going to get your credentials, because you know what? There's not a single supplier, there's not a single cruise line where you can finish their training and then have educational letters at the end of your name. So you're going to go after CLIA certification, and you're going to put those letters at the end of your name, and then you're going to tell every single person that you meet what those letters mean. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? That's exactly what I did. He said, CLIA certification, unlike the cruise lines, unlike the agency's training, CLIA certification rounds out your education. It helps you to become a cruise travel expert. And it's a third-party organization. So it's not the cruise line calling you an expert. It's the Worldwide Cruise Industry Trade Association. And whenever I would tell people about CLIA, I would point to the CLIA logo, which also happened to be on my business card. Wink, wink. And I would point to the letters after my name, and I'd point to that CLIA logo, and I wouldn't talk about CLIA. I would just say, see that logo right there? It was an awful logo. It looked terrible back then. That's the Cruise Industry Trade Association, Worldwide Cruise Industry Trade Association. And I have worked very hard to earn this ACC, Accredited Cruise Counselor. Those letters at the end of my name, it just means that I'm an expert. I'm acknowledged by the Worldwide Cruise Industry Trade Association. And gosh, it would be a real privilege for me to earn your business and to be your cruise consultant. Boom. Now you can say that however you want to, but ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you're looking for a competitive edge, CLIA certification is it. And please, if you're already certified, make sure those letters are at the end of your name on every single thing where your name appears. And remember, those letters are not there to tell you or to tell the client what that is. They don't know what that is. They don't know what CLIA is. They don't know what those letters mean. They're there on your business card for you to remind you to tell the story in just a few seconds, just like I just told you, just a few seconds. The Worldwide Cruise Industry Trade Association acknowledges me as a cruise travel expert. I have worked very hard to earn this certification. It stands for Accredited Cruise Counselor. That's the way you get a competitive edge, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't become important until you tell them that it is important. Because let's face it, there are 150,000 travel advisors in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. 150,000. And what we want to do, right? We want to stand out in a sea of sameness. I'm just going to take a moment. I want you to think about this as you look at that picture. I want you to ask yourself, why should my clients do business with me as opposed to someone else? What is my unique value that I'm offering them? That is the question that Steve asked me to ask myself. He said, Charlie, you're just starting out in this business. I want you to think about what it is that you do that is unique. How do you offer unique services that the person down the road, folks, there was another brick and mortar travel agency a quarter of a mile down the road from me. Seabreeze Travel. And Seabreeze Travel, I sent a secret shopper into Seabreeze Travel once, right? My friend Michelle, she went in there and she approached the reception desk and she looked at everyone's business card, right? There were about 8 agents that worked there and nobody had a CLIA certification at the end of their name, no one. And I knew absolutely that 4 of those agents were certified. and yet nobody was using that as an advantage. So Steve said to me, he said, look, Charlie, what we're going to do is we're going to turn you into a local celebrity. And so when you get that first ACC, of course, nowadays we have an even easier level to achieve called CCC, or a Certified Cruise Counselor. That one is designed for part-timers and for people who are students. But the first level I achieved is ACC. Now that's still the first level for those of you who are full-time, who derive most of your income or all of your income from selling travel. I got that ACC. It took me about 9 months to achieve it after I started working. And let me tell you something, folks. It came with a template. It came with a template on how to send out a press release. So of course, Steve had me fill that out, and we faxed it to our local newspaper. We faxed it to the radio station. We faxed it to all of the local media. And I'm not talking about the Boston Globe, folks, or the Washington Post. I'm talking about, you know, the Penny Saver, or the local, we had what was called the Fairhaven Advocate, the local town paper. And sure enough, we faxed it on a Monday, and the following Sunday, my picture and my name was in the paper, along with the story about how Cruise Lines International Association, did I tell you that logo was ugly or what? What is that? Poseidon holding a trident? It's like some sort of sea king. The article read that Cruise Lines International Association, the Worldwide Cruise Industry Trade Association, certified that Charles Sylvia of Carlson Wagenly Travel Vacations Plus in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, became an accredited cruise counselor and was an expert in his field of cruise travel. Do you know how many leads I got just from that little newsmakers thing? I was there with the insurance agent. I was there with the lawyer who just started to specialize in a new field of law, an insurance agent who carried a new commercial line of insurance, you know, the accountant who got a new certification on tax code. Why shouldn't you be there? Aren't you just as professional as all those other people? In fact, the business you're in is pretty much saving people's lives. I mean, it's keeping people sane. They're sending them away. They work their tails off for 50 or 51 weeks out of the year. And then they come to you and give you the monumental responsibility of planning their trip, the trip that they've worked hard for 50 or 51 weeks out of the year. And then it's on you to perform for them. I took that dead serious, ladies and gentlemen, and I treated myself like I was a lawyer or an accountant or an insurance professional. And I got that ACC. And then I worked the next level and got the MCC. And I focused entirely on groups. My unique value was this. Whenever I would book a couple on a cruise, I offered a special, what we called custom concierge service. And I said to him, I said, surely there's someone that you'd like to enjoy this cruise experience with, but you probably don't want the headaches of answering all their questions and going through all the details with them. Well, I offer a custom concierge service where I help you. All you got to do is give me a soft introduction to these people that you'd love to cruise with, and I will take care of everything. I will handle all the details. I'll answer all their questions. You won't have to do a thing except look forward to going on a cruise with them. Now, Steve said to me this. He said, Charlie, I don't want anyone to come through this door or to call into this agency and as an FIT and end up sailing alone. You have a responsibility to your clients to make sure that you try to turn every individual booking into a group. And that's precisely what I focused on, folks. And about 75, 80% of the time, they would say, yes, my brother-in-law, I'd love to cruise with him. He's one of my best friends, and our wives, but I just don't want the hassle of dealing with all of it. Well, guess what? I took care of that. I offered what I called turnkey service, so you don't have to think about a thing. And then I would sail with many of my groups. Every single time there was a brand new cruise ship that was launched, I would book a group on them. You know, it didn't have to be the actual maiden voyage. It would be whatever sailing date and itinerary made the most sense for my group. But I would make sure that I sailed with the group. And before you know it, there were people, just like I said, in the supermarket. I'd take my grandmother to the local market, and people would point at me and say, hey, that's the cruise guy. Hey, can I talk to you about Aruba? Do you have cruises that go to Aruba? You bet I do. So that's the point. It's this pandemic, right? We keep hearing the word historic or unprecedented, right? We keep hearing that till we're sick to our stomach. Well, guess what's also unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen? The demand that it has created for travel and for cruise travel, most especially because people haven't been able to cruise. So here's the thing. You've got to capture. It's like being, like when you see on a game show, when they put someone in those tubes, right? They put you in the plastic tube with all the money, and then they turn on the fan, right? And you're trying to grab as much of the money as you possibly can. That's why we're here today. We're here to tell you that CLIA has the tools. We've got marketing tools. We've got certification to help you become legitimate. Many of you have been in the business for years. Think about how much further you can take your career to the next level if you leverage all of the tools and resources that are at your disposal. Now, don't beat yourself up. This isn't about saying, oh, shucks, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Baloney. This is about drawing a line in the sand and saying, you know what? From this day forward, I am going to take my career selling travel as seriously as an attorney takes his or her career, or as seriously as an insurance professional or a certified financial planner takes his or her career. Join CLIA. Become part of CLIA. You get an enormous discount because of PTANA's status, their elite status. You get a discount. You can join as an agency, or you can join as an individual agent member. Book a free career counseling call. That's a one-on-one call. You're not there with a bunch of other people. It's just like booking a table, a reservation at a restaurant. You go on the cruising.org website, you book a career counseling call with one of our professional development team members, and then at your convenience, at a date and time that you set, you get on the phone with them for 15 minutes and you tell them exactly what you want to do with your career. Whether you want to focus, some of you have, maybe do really great with some brands, but then you really would love to sell expedition or luxury, but you don't know how to find those leads, or maybe you're afraid of those customers, and you just need a gentle nudge to help you understand that they're no different than anybody else. As a matter of fact, luxury clients, they're wonderful. Career counseling will help you. You share in a private setting your needs, wants, and expectations for your career aspirations with one of our professional development team members, and we will put you on the right track. We'll help you enroll in CLIA certification. Remember, you get 4 free courses, online courses. They're worth $29 a piece. You get 4 free online courses for being part of PTANA. You get bonus commissions. You got to review those bonus commissions. They pay for your CLIA membership. When you sell a cruise, you look up the bonus commission for that cruise line. If it applies to that itinerary and all of your terms and conditions, they're much easier than they used to be. They used to be loaded with terms and conditions. We made them so much easier. 96% of the bonus commissions that were submitted last year were paid. And then understand your Embark ID benefits. Those are the benefits that are associated with your photographic credential that we issue. It's a credential that goes in your wallet or your pocketbook that has your picture on it. It's the Embark ID. And your 2021 Embark ID comes with a whole lot of benefits, including discounts on products and services. Again, we're here to help you make money and help you save money. And Embark ID, incidentally, stands for Enrolled Member Benefit and Recognition Credential. Enrolled Member Benefit and Recognition Credential. And that Embark ID helps you get on Disney Cruise Lines with FAMs. It helps you with Marriott, with the Hotel Excellence Program. It helps you in a lot of ways. So please follow this checklist, and you can join CLIA by visiting cruising.org today. And now I would like to open it up to questions. Let me see if there are any questions. If not, I'm going to fire up Lila Nicholas, and maybe she can say a few words. Let's see. Are you there, Lila?
I'm here, Charlie. Thank you.
How are you? What did you think? Did you talk too much?
Doing great. Looking forward to seeing you in Florida as well. I wanted I'm glad that you did what you did. I can't believe what you looked like back in September 1994. That's all I can say. But That wonderful voice has not changed no matter what you look like then. You're still our Charlie, Sylvia. That's it. I think that's fabulous. My jaw did hit the desk. It certainly did. It did. I think, and one of the things that we're going to do, Charlie, and I think Kathy's already on it, because we do have a big national campaign that we are developing, is just about ready to roll out that I described to you before. We just had to do a little housekeeping as far as marketing is concerned. And our president from Greater Houston, PJ Sands, is also on this call, who is in charge of this PTANA Brand Awareness Committee. And she's just directed us in gathering all of the good stuff there is about benefits to PTANA membership. And we're ready to roll it out nationwide to those agents that are looking for a soft place to fall after making it on the other side of this terrible industry lockdown. I just can't. We feel like we've got out of prison here. So you will be seeing it. We're going to start copying you on it. I think Kathy has already reached out to you about the interview and the video and the YouTube and what have you. So she was assigned to you, and very rightly so. We're going to emphasize the process of how to sign up under PTANA's ID in CLIA. We get calls all the time about they're stuck. And so we're going to emphasize how easy it is to give them step-by-step instructions on how to get into the cruising.org and sign up under PTANA's ID, because of all the benefits that they get. Just the discount on the membership almost pays for a PTANA membership. And so this is so important in the process, Charlie. You can't understand in the order of things. Relationships is all it's about. I don't care if it's business, church, family, or whatever. It's about the relationship. And this has been a great one. And we continue to grow. We've got new chapters coming on board. We just approved the Louisiana chapter, and we're moving into another area I don't want to announce now. But all of our numbers are going to move because of the energy that's in the PTANA system. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Lila. And, you know, that's the thing about PTANA and CLIA. You know, whenever I'm asked to do anything for PTANA, it's like going to a family reunion. You know, we work so closely together, and it's a relationship established on obviously trust and commitment to one another for success. We are committed to each other's success. And you mentioned PJ Sands, by the way, and I just want to say I am a huge PJ Sands fan.
You just have to get in line because we're all PJ Sands fans.
She's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
I wanted to answer a couple of the questions I see coming through. So Embark ID stands for enrolled member. So you have to be an enrolled member. And the Embark ID, so I want to share something real quick. This is a cautionary moment, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you do, when you become a member of CLIA, do not give your logon credentials. You know, you access your My CLIA portal, which is where everything is. Do not give your logon credentials to anyone. One night, I got a text from John Chernesky of Princess Cruises, who said to me, Charlie, I want to log in and see what it's like to be a CLIA individual agent member. And I want to see what that user experience is like. And so I gave him my username and password, and look what he did. He changed my Embark ID photo to Captain America. Can you see that? Yeah, Captain America. There we go, Captain America. So that's my Embark ID for 2021. It's now Chris Evans. Can you believe that? So anyway, when you see John Chernesky, when any of you see John Chernesky, you give him a little bit of grief that he changed my photo. Whenever I got my Embark ID for 2021, I was like, what the heck? Anywho, so Embark ID stands for enrolled member. Again, you've got to be an enrolled member, a current enrolled member every year. Benefit and recognition credential. So you'll have suppliers ask for it. You can use that Embark ID to get, well, let's give a couple examples. Free parking if you sail out of Galveston, Texas, and we're working with other ports to increase that. That's a brand new benefit. You can use your Embark ID to get a discount on a General Electric appliance through our affinity program, or discounts on office supplies through Office Depot, again, through our affinity program, which you find on My CLIA. So again, remember the big box that Steve put on my desk? Well, that big box is the website. And so everything is fulfilled upon through the website, like the bonus commissions every year. You know, once January 1st comes and you renew your CLIA membership, the whole group of bonus commissions, there's more than $3,000 that you get every year. You individually get $3,000, not PTANA, just you, every single one of you who's a member of CLIA gets more than $3,000 worth of bonus commissions. Now, when you consider that membership is $69, so let me go back. Membership is $119, $119. But because of PTANA's elite status as a CLIA Premier member, you get a $50 discount off of that $119. So you don't pay $119, you pay $69. And that runs January 1st through December 31st. Now, if you're not a member now and you say, oh, well, it's May, I'll wait until January so I get the whole year. Baloney. Join now because you get your benefits instantly. You can get your free courses, $29 a piece times 4. You can get your bonus commissions. It's all there. And through the career counseling appointment, that's the thing. When you become a member, you log on to cruising.org and then you go down professional development, you sign up for your career counseling appointment. They can show you where all this stuff is, how you can access it. We can walk you through it, your own little kind of onboarding session. Let me see if there are any additional questions. And please, if you thought that this webinar was valuable, please put it in the questions or the chat box because I'd love to get your feedback. Also let me know what types of cruising. You know, Lila, have you ever encountered any advisors who were afraid to sell a particular, you know, justifiably afraid to sell maybe outside of their pocketbook? So in other words, if there's someone who is able to afford maybe a $2,000 or a $3,000 7-night cruise, you know, balcony and so forth, and it might be a little intimidating, right, to sell a $25,000, $30,000 Seabourn cruise, for example.
You know what, Charlie? I just spoke this to someone just last week. I think it was to Verna. She'll probably say amen to it. When I got into the travel industry, looks about 21 years ago now, one of my choir members who was already an owner used to walk around with a captain's hat on. And I asked her about what that was. She was also one of my best choir members, one of my leads. And I asked her what was that about, and she was a major master cruise seller. That was her primary business. And as I started to learn to sell cruises, one of the things that she's told me that has stuck with me for years is stop selling out of your own pocket, Lila. Stop selling your clients' money. Because you cannot, you're hurting yourselves when you judge a conversation based on what you have. You can't do it that way. If you continue to do that, your business won't grow, and neither will you. I've never forgotten it because it applies to anything in travel, especially cruising, because there's so many benefits. It's an all-inclusive resort on the water. That's what it is. And
Right.
Because it's so customized, we have so many options that we can talk about. Vernon and I were just talking about Disney cruising. We were just talking about Carnival and Royal Caribbean coming back to the Maryland port. Talking to groups now about the cruising coming back. People want to travel. Pent up demand is fantastic. And really, we just suggest we are now true consultants, because we can direct the client to what the best experience is for their budget. And we owe cruising a lot because they have stood with us through thick and thin. You all need to know that Charlie went to bat for PTANA this year and helped them, or helped the president of PTANA waive the annual fee for PTANA. For us to be included in that premier agency group, that's a big number that he makes it go away because he values the relationship. And the way we can pay him back is to attend Cruise 360, get that basic education, and join CLIA. That certification should be on your business cards and your signatures or whatever, because it helps and it's valuable. I can't thank you enough, Charlie.
Oh, Lila, thank you. And I just put the Cruise 360 link in the
Thank
chat box for everyone to see. Cruise
thank you.
360, our annual conference. It's like the Super Bowl and the Academy Awards all rolled into one, right? Cruise 360 is going to happen in 64 days, folks. It's in Hollywood, Florida, and it's going to be at the Diplomat Beach Resort in Hollywood. And believe me when I tell you, I'm kind of biased because I'm the MC of the general sessions, but Cruise 360 is absolutely incredible. You see all the celebrities of the industry, you know, the Vicky Freeds and the Adolfos and the Dondras, and even Bernesky. I'm looking at his bobblehead over there. And you really get to be part of, and it's a great way to fast track your certification. And Lila, to your point about luxury cruising, you know, speaking about it. So how did I do it, right? How did I sell my first 20,000 plus dollar cruise on Seabourn? Well, let me tell you, back then, you know, we didn't have PowerPoint, we didn't have anything. We had overhead projectors, believe it or not.
That's
And
right.
so what happened, what I did was I got a lot of the data from the CLIA book, which again is the CLIA website, and it was basically the state of the cruise industry back in 1995. That's when I first did it, and I had them turn into transparencies. And I went to the Rotary Club. My friend's father was president of the Rotary Club, and I drove by the Skipper Motor Inn every so often, and I saw that Rotary Club sign on there, and it said breakfast meeting Friday mornings at 7:30. And so I talked to my friend's father, and I said, would it be all right for me to present about the popularity and growth of cruise travel, and how there's a cruise for everyone? It's not just cruises for the masses. There's boutique cruising, and there's all sorts of different cruising. And you know what? He said, absolutely, Charlie, come on in. So I did. I took my CLIA book, again, now it would be the PowerPoints that we have on CLIA. We have a wonderful PowerPoint on the state of the cruise industry, which you could easily download and use as a presentation to a local, you know, whether it's an alumni association to promote a group cruise, whether it's your local neighborhood association, you name it. I didn't wait for the phone to ring. For someone to walk through the door. Remember, I was in a brick and mortar. I went out and I became an evangelist for cruise, and I was a cruise champion. And every time CLIA came out with new information, I would get in front of local civic groups and talk about cruise travel. Anyway, that little presentation I did a 15 to 20, maybe 25-minute presentation back in, it was what, November of 1995. So I was only a year into the business, basically, just a year and 2 months. I did that presentation, and one of the professionals sitting in the audience was Mr. Schmidt from Fairhaven Savings Bank, and he was the president of my hometown savings bank, and he became my first Seabourn client.
Wow.
Because here I was in my early 20s, and you see, I'm gonna embarrass PJ Sands, but you see someone like PJ Sands who's in front of the camera and is so professional, and it's just so incredible. Well, guess what? You can do this. You can get in front. There was a day where PJ Sands for the first time got in front of the camera. There was a day for the first time for me. There was a day, look at Lila. Lila could present, make a formal presentation to the President of the United States. That's the thing. They're people. And I started with a small group of people. That little breakfast maybe had about 18 business people in it, but it's a great way to cut your teeth, start talking about cruise, not only cruise, but all travel. Start becoming that person, that definitive authority in cruise travel, and take it on the road and use, when you see CLIA has come out with its latest deck, its latest PowerPoint presentation or PDF about the state of the cruise industry 2021, we'll download that sucker and make an appointment with the Elks or the Lions. Or here's a great thing: go to the local car dealership and say, hey, by the way, did you know that experiential travel rewards create greater motivation to a salesperson than cash? does, believe it or not. And there are statistics that are within the CLIA website on that. So, and I did all this stuff. I pitched Titleist on a national sales meeting aboard a cruise ship. Titleist's corporate headquarters was in my hometown. There's so many things that you can do. Go to a yarn store and pitch a stitch and bitch cruise. That's what they call them. They call them stitch and bitch cruises. And people spend a lot of money on yarn, ladies and gentlemen. They love. I had a group of 44 people for a stitch and bitch cruise. Again, I didn't say that. That's how they call it. Lila, I'm going off here.
You're doing well. You're doing well. Thank you.
Oh, and it's $3.99 for the agency rate, but because of PTANA, your agents will get that $50 discount, and you get a free individual agent membership with that.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost there, Lila. If there are any more questions, otherwise I'll give folks back 5 minutes.
Do you have any other questions in your chat?
I do not. It looks like we're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen.
How much time do we have?
We've got another, let's see, 5 minutes.
If you could unmute PJ Sands.
Oh, yes, of course.
And
PJ.
let it rip. She'll give you a good 5-minute close.
PJ, you should be unmuted now. Come on. I'm clicking.
Here I am.
There you are. How are you, PJ?
Very well, thank you. So awesome to be on today. You know, I've got such great people who are leaders in the travel industry, and you, Charlie, as well as Lila, Verna, Kathy Marshall, great examples of travel advisors who are really, really setting the bar really high. So thank you so much for your kind words today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm again huge fan, and I'm just grateful to you for all of the awareness and all the information that you put forth. You are truly, you know, you're like a gold standard example of leadership in our industry.
She is. And PJ, would you give a quick synopsis of the new PTANA brand awareness program, because it ties right into what Charlie's doing?
Oh, yes, definitely. You know, the brand awareness program with PTANA is really raising the bar, as PTANA is a premier organization by agents for agents, and established over 10 years ago to really allow us to have an opportunity to learn, earn, and grow. So with our brand awareness, we are really highlighting our premier affiliate companies like yourself, and like CLIA, and like so many others that have really stepped up as tour operators and suppliers who give us so much support. I think it's really great that we can evangelize and share. Oftentimes, one of the blessings actually post-COVID is the fact that we are doing a lot of amazing virtual programming. So people who are agents in cities that we never really had a reach before are able to log in to PTANA.org and participate on a weekly basis in some of the most amazing programs that our educational chair Alonzo Duncan and several of our chapters have put together with a variety of suppliers. So I definitely want to encourage everybody who's on to make sure you're logging into PTANA.org and checking out our calendar of events so that you can see all of the wonderful educational programs that exist. And also, we're starting to get back together in person, whether it's a hybrid meeting where some is virtual and some is online. So all of the chapters, you know, are thinking about and deciding what they're doing for the fall. So make sure you pay attention to the calendar there to see if there's some virtual meetings near you. For instance, here in Houston, we're having our first virtual in-person meeting actually at the last week of June. We meet on the fourth Monday of every month. So I have got my Embark ID in front of me, and also that Captain America picture. I was like, oh my goodness, I have a PTANA picture of myself, so I kind of feel like Wonder Woman here, right? So I think for that, I just definitely want to thank you all. This is so much great information, and we need to share it with our fellow travel advisors because they don't realize all of the perks that they are missing by not activating their CLIA membership. So thank you so much, Charlie, and thank you all my fellow PTANA leadership for allowing me the opportunity, and can't wait to see you all at our next PTANA event.
Thank you, President Sands. Charlie, there you go, my darling.
Thank you so much, PJ. Thank you so much, Lila. And
Very
ladies and
welcome.
gentlemen, this webinar has been recorded, so I will be sending the link to the recording to the team, and they can share it with the entire organization. I just want to say thanks again for taking the time to be on today's call.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.
Bye, everybody.